Esa, the floor is yours.
Great, thank you so much, Malgorzata and BSSSC for inviting us to this event. And it's really, as we are very much focusing on regional level in policy area innovation cooperation. Regions have been really driving force in innovation cooperation in the region, definitely among the most active stakeholders, even not the most active stakeholders in the region in innovation topics. And we have felt in the EUS BSR now, especially in the previous program period since 2014, as the smart specialization strategies appeared, and there was suddenly we had a very nice new framework for innovation cooperation between the regions, and regions really took that seriously, and that provided some needed strategic framework in general, and then also for EUS BSR, that through smart specialization and related exchange and learning, capacity building, and then also some piloting of interregional smart specialization activities, I felt like we were able to develop innovation cooperation into more strategic direction in the region. But it has been all depending on regions' own commitment and initiative, and then EUS BSR, for us it has been a great opportunity. It's not about that we don't take any credit for ourselves, but we have been happy that regions have also taken the strategy, the EUS BSR, as their strategy, and they have taken this interregional dimension of smart specialization very seriously. So there are dozens of regions who have been especially active. I guess most of them, if not all, also active in BSSSC, and so that I think that there's a lot of course, in the framework of BSSSC, there's a lot of work done, of course, already before we talked about smart specialization, or even before we had EUS BSR. Of course, in the framework of BSSSC, there was work done and projects implemented that have then created a basis for us in the Baltic Sea region to really implement, to be also front runners in smart specialization in Europe. And now, of course, we are again more experienced. We have a lot of projects just implemented, still some ongoing, and then there's a new program period starting with the new programs. We have the new action plan in the EUS BSR. So now it's time to take the next step. Of course, we don't want to continue as before. We have to take the next step, but we have to build that next step to the already gained results. And there where GoSmart BSR is an excellent example, and that they have been doing one of the most kind of tangible and business need driven smart specialization cooperation in their original GoSmart project, and now there's a extension project on the way, where we are also happy to be part of as policy area innovation, and to support this scaling up of the results, and of course BSSSC is then the best possible platform for that. But I will share my presentation. I know how, of course, many of you have been participating and following EUS BSR from the beginning, and you know it very well. But just an update from our side, that where we are, and what is the new action plan all about in the innovation area. We are at the Baltic Institute of Finland, and me personally, I'm one of the coordinators, kind of a coordinating coordinator, together with my two colleagues. We have from Poland, Tomasz Jalukowicz from Polish Ministry of Science and Education. I guess you all know him. And in our internal division of tasks, Thomas is more focused on science and research related collaboration, and especially we are in very close coordination with policy area education and Baltic Science network, etc. Then third coordinator, Estonian Ministry of Communications and Economy, and Reet Reismaa from Estonia. And Reet is especially, and Estonia is especially focusing on digitalization and digital economy related activities. And now one of the most kind of interesting initiatives is this real-time economy initiative led by Estonia that we are actively promoting, which started as the Estonian-Finnish bilateral cooperation. Now it's being scaled up region-wide. And then from the topics point of view, I have been, and Baltic Institute of Finland, we've been especially focusing on smart specialization and regional dimension of the policy area innovation, and ourselves also been leading and partnering various smart specialization projects, also representing our home region, Tampere region in Finland, in those projects, and then in policy area innovation, as we have had many smart specialization related flagships ongoing during the previous program period. So that has been especially my focus area in policy area innovation. And now we have a platform project under Interreg BSR, which is BSR S3 ecosystem, with Region Västerbotten from Sweden leading, and then many S3 projects and their partners represented in this platform. And there's very interesting now plans about how to really join forces and between different projects and combine the results and good practices from different projects, and to really help regions to take the next step in smart specialization, as they are now still developing their new strategies and then starting to implement them. And this is kind of a overall background or introduction for our how we are organized and how we are also then focusing on smart specialization and regions in policy area innovation. So the new action plan was adopted a couple of months ago. Finally, it was a long process. It took a bit too long time, I think, and we are still we just had last week the final management related kind of elements approved by national coordinators. So, for example, role of steering committees will be emphasized, and in the steering committees, they are ministries responsible for innovation and economic development policies in our policy area, and we will have a first meeting of this new program period and new action plan in a couple of weeks, and we will also then invite regions, and this is something on which we will get back to you very soon, because we will then we want to have a representation of regions, not by one region, but from regional networks like BSSSC and CPMR, and we will agree on that in our next meeting, and that's also kind of a very topical issue now, and we definitely warmly welcome regions in the steering committee, because actually so big part of our activities and big part of our new action plan is really for the regions, and where regions have shown already commitment and enthusiasm. But new action plan it's definitely a step forward. It's much more compact, even though we still have many policy areas, but there are less priorities or actions, how we call them. Before there were so many, and it wasn't really that well structured or coordinated. Now there are only in average 3 actions per policy area, and then, for example, climate change as a topic is mainstreamed, so that all policy areas need to tackle that and cover that. And of course, Green Deal is the overall EU policy framework that applies to all policy areas of US BSR. Then neighbors, where BSSSC especially, you can bring a very important contribution. That is not its own policy area or horizontal area, it's also mainstreamed, so that all policy areas should pay attention to cooperation with neighboring countries, Russia, Norway. And this is where this kind of existing well-established networks like you really matter. Strategy itself hasn't been that successful, I think, and active in what comes to engaging neighboring countries. We really need to improve in that, and that applies to us as well. We have had way too little involvement of Russian partners, of Norwegian partners even, in our projects. Some really good cases, but it's been very limited. And then there will be this Baltic Sea strategy point that will be there will be I guess some kind of a tender about that still this year, and that's very important additional management and communication structure that will be, I'm sure it will strengthen the strategy. Of course, we shouldn't make this too bureaucratic, but still we need some stronger coordination here and stronger communication as well. And this is good addition that Baltic Sea strategy point somewhere in the region will be established, and it's excellent news, and I'm sure also very interesting for BSSSC and make somehow, yeah, anyway, we need some kind of a contact point here and not just the policy areas working in different sectors. Yeah, overall the topics are, of course, they are same, and they are based on the overall EU policy framework on smarter, greener, more accessible region, and in policy area innovation, of course, this is about strengthening the competitiveness of the region, and this is the activities and our role. This is kind of a supporting structure and kind of a soft power, if you could say that. This is about enabling shared learning, strengthening and creating networks, aligning resources, even regulations and policy coordination. We need to be better in that, so that we somehow build a stronger connection of US BSR actions to national policies and national policy making. And that's why the role of steering committees will be underlined, that there needs to be a policy impact. It's not just a series of projects implemented. There needs to be some kind of a longer term processes and developments that we can then also monitor. And of course, projects are the individual kind of a key instruments for that. But it's not just that to list how many projects we have, or it's more about processes and longer term developments in line with our agreed priorities. And this is, of course, European-wide policy. There are other macro-regional strategies, and we want to also. This is also a new step that we would like to take. That US BSR could also serve as a platform for European-wide cooperation. And smart specialization is one of the most attractive topics in that, because we, the Baltic Sea region, are regarded as a leading region in smart specialization in general, and also in related interregional collaboration. And we have been invited, and there will be another event coming soon where we have had a chance to introduce our smart specialization experiences to other European regions and other macro regions, and they are very interested. And also, it would be nice if we were able to facilitate the development of some European-wide projects in PA Inno, and provide some new European-wide opportunities for example, BSSSC regions, and whether it's Interreg Europe or this new I3 instrument that is especially very interesting and attractive, or even Horizon, that we would like to see that we are not just depending on Interreg funding in the future. It cannot be only. We have been already very good in that, and strategy has to be able to facilitate also some projects and funding in other instruments. But of course, Interregs are still here in the region, the core funding, and we are very happy on how also the new Interreg programs like Interreg BSR sees the strategy. They have taken this seriously, but we are kind of developing a new kind of a partnership. It's more like a strategic partnership where we already have had a good opportunity to influence on the new program, and then even to influence in the first calls, and then in the seed money instrument. And it's not about giving flagship stamps. It's about kind of supporting also the program to when they are formulating in their terms of references and the program manual and guidelines and call texts, when they are referring to the strategy, so that it would be a fully in line with the new action plan of EUS BSR and our actions, and also especially in smart specialization, that Interreg BSR pays attention in its new program that we've been discussing, that we are especially attractive and interesting additional support structure for Interreg BSR on smart specialization, so that regions and other applicants would be able to then they would be guided towards this next level of smart specialization. And we just had a meeting about this early this week with all Interreg programs of the region, and about greener Europe topics, and it was very, very nice to hear how the programs really have taken the strategy seriously, and that's already an achievement, that the new programs will be fully in line with the EUS BSR and the new action plan. The policy framework, you know, time is running. I need to hasten my presentation. Now, this is of course all these relevant innovation policies that the strategy in innovation area is focusing on. Green Deal, of course, as an overall big policy for everything we do. And like mentioned already, we have had an impact. I seriously believe that the cooperation has become more strategic. There has been less overlaps, and also smart specialization related experiences, what I talked about in the beginning, are especially good example about that we have a very strong basis for transnational smart specialization in the region. And Go Smart BSR is a one really good example of that experience. But the topics we have actually quite big topics, so they are. But that's also very important. We are not somebody who makes then some kind of a selection that exactly these kind of very specific topics are important. But we have a more like this kind of a general topics. But of course, under these topics, ourselves, we cannot at the same time focus on very many things. We will focus on maybe fewer things and in a smaller amount of topics at a time and projects, but then we will have a kind of annual plans on and make it also clear in our communication that where PA Inno is active, so that it's clear for stakeholders, and not to give too big promises that we can serve everybody and any topic. And but challenge-driven innovation, obviously, that's the overall framework for any EU innovation policy, any national innovation policy, and in Baltic Sea region, really important, as we have the whole cooperation here is very much focusing on and based on solving our common challenges, and based on our geography and climate and demographic challenges. And when we are small countries, we really need to solve those challenges together. And there's a lot that we can do through innovation to develop also common shared solutions for those challenges. And this is where we work in close collaboration with other policy areas who have then more like they have a strong knowledge and strong networks in their own areas, like in bioeconomy or in health or in energy, and they know the challenges and they know what is needed. They have a good understanding of that, and then our role is to connect that data and experience and expertise of them to innovation networks and innovation ecosystems. And this kind of a cross-policy area cooperation is very important. So the strategy shouldn't be seen as some kind of a series of different policy areas who work in silos, but as a one entity. And we in the strategy have to make clear that we can show that and we can that we are working together and cross-sectorally. And especially for us, policy area bioeconomy is very important, policy area energy, policy area transport, to mention few. And when we talk about challenges, and then when there are topics like circular economy or biocircular economy, then basically all what we do is done in very close collaboration with PA bioeconomy. And that is also in what comes to regions, because practically, if not all, almost all regions in their smart specialization strategies focus also in circular economy. That's one of the most hottest topics in the smart specialization. So of course that's very relevant for the regions, and it's very much about regional assets. The regions they have the assets and they have the responsibilities often in circular economy and waste management related issues, and they know the challenges, and this is one good topic. And then another is blue growth, blue economy, where again we are in close collaboration with the PA bioeconomy, and in our case in blue growth we are counting on, and we are working in very close collaboration with Submariner network, where Pomerania and other regions are active members, and Submariner has taken the USPSR very seriously. They are very actively involved, and in blue growth topics we are kind of supporting Submariner, but of course not just them, but if there are some other relevant topics emerging, blue growth definitely is one of the most attractive topics in this challenge-driven innovation. Then digital innovation and transformation, obviously another self-evident topic for any innovation policy and cooperation in the region. And there are so many opportunities already experience on that, new European policy instruments and or concepts like digital innovation hubs, which are excellent topic for BSR cooperation. And then also how to combine digital innovation to challenge-driven innovation, how to combine and develop digital solutions in circular economy, for example. Very, very interesting. So also in this case, things are interconnected and cross-sectoral. Then the third one, co-creative innovation. It's more like horizontal topic and kind of a innovation methodology or approach related topic. There's a lot of opportunities, and there's already a lot of experience and good practices in open innovation and co-creation in the region. And in kind of a looking non-traditional and promoting non-traditional ways of innovation, policy and promotion, where universities and students work in collaboration with companies and public sector, where startups, small companies are connected to bigger companies, and where from the infrastructure point of view, we are understanding the complementarities and complementary assets of the region and using our assets effectively together by providing by using innovation vouchers and etc. And Go Smart again here is very relevant because we need to be able to also provide our business development, business support services across borders. That's a self-evident potential benefit and an added value of Baltic Sea cooperation. That if we know each other, if we can join forces and open our own services, business development services, also to be utilized cross-border, it's an asset and an opportunity for all the regions. It helps in internalization of companies. It strengthens their business development and innovation service portfolios, and this is where Go Smart BSR has already developed a very nice brokerage model that Vieslav will introduce later. And this is where, in this topic, also startup ecosystems are important. We know that there's a lot of interest among the Baltic Sea region startup ecosystems to join forces and work together. But I know that I need to, because I've been already talking about this, but we are moving now very much towards this next level and next phase of smart specialization, which is S4, basically focusing very much on sustainable development as well, and focusing very much on interregional collaboration, and where it's not about just developing the strategies and collaborating in the and exchanging the good practices and building the competencies, but it's about implementing the strategies together, and even moving towards interregional innovation investments. We are very, very interested in this new instrument, and we already made together with this BSR S3 ecosystem a very thorough input paper in the preparation of this I3, and this is what we hope to see as one of the results of PA Inno as well, that we hope that we would be able to have a role to play and contribute to the development of first proposals from the BSR to this new I3 instrument. The first call will be open already in the summer, which is quite amazing. I don't know how they can do it, and I'm not sure if BSR, we cannot react to that first call yet, but we will be definitely active in the second call in the I3, and we would be happy to do it in close coordination with, of course, Go Smart, which already has great kind of a potential and basis on that, and then BSSSC and on this topic. But this is already a details about this which is also in line with the I3 instrument, how we need to move on to these next stages from this good practice sharing to even really joint strategies, and to move on in this from this Vanguard initiative based learn, connect, demonstrate, commercialize, scale up model increasingly to this commercialize and scale up or demonstrate, commercialize, scale up level. And this is good illustration of, and good for BSR as well, that we are still, and we have been active in this early stage, have been doing some demonstration, but still, we also, even though we are advanced, but still we have a lot to learn. And one important element is here the value chains, that we need to also really understand these value chains. And we did already in the BSR-S3 ecosystem this mapping of circular bioeconomy value chains. And we thought in the beginning that they already are very well established, or we can easily recognize those and those value chain opportunities. But we realized that, first of all, there's not enough data. We need more data. And this kind of a value chain mapping is one important, that is already, that's valuable even for this 2B strand, for this kind of a less advanced strand of I3 initiative, that we need to do this kind of a mapping, and we need to recognize those kind of a special value chains in the region, in special niche areas under circular economy, for example. And then that helps us to get closer to companies as well, that we understand that we can then communicate better and recognize those opportunities for businesses, that hey, why it makes sense to be part of some Baltic Sea cooperation, that how it's connected to your business opportunities and potential new markets or partner opportunities or R&D collaboration opportunities in your business. But again, here GoSmart BSR has been already kind of approaching this and being already piloting a kind of a business-driven S3, that to really understand that what do businesses need and expect from Baltic Sea cooperation. But Vyacheslav needs to continue. He can tell you in much more concrete terms about what this could mean in practice and what GoSmart BSR has done. But here's finally a list of some S3 projects in the region. There are many active BSSSC regions who have been partnering these or leading these projects. And as you see, they have been still very much about learning from each other, developing methodologies, and doing some piloting. But when we combine this experience and results from these projects and some other, it's quite a basis already. And now we need to make sure that we are not just starting from the scratch, from the independent project, like forgetting what was done before, but we need to build on this basis because it's fresh experience. They were just finalized, or some of them are still ongoing, and there's a lot of great evidence and proposals from this project that what could be done next. And we need to be now very good also in US BSR and policy innovation to recognize those most attractive opportunities and concentrate in those, our limited resources. We are still only basically three persons who are coordinating this, but the strategy is a good. We hope that it helps, for example, regions to also to recognize those most attractive opportunities, so that we wouldn't have unnecessary overlaps or competition, but we could join forces between those regions and project initiators who have similar goals. And this is where we are then supporting by it's even supporting in project development, in supporting in partner search and matchmaking, and in the policy dialogue between the ministries to invite the project initiators to steering committee to introduce it to the ministries, etc., to get very strong kind of a policy basis, so that they can then show that this is also in line with national policies, and there's a support from the national level, and we can be a link in that. And but we shouldn't be regarded as some kind of a extra layer, but we are support instrument for Interrex, for you, BSSSC, and your regions, and it's a strategy. It is just that we would have as common agenda as possible, that we would work towards the same goals and have a bit less of this kind of a of unnecessary competition. There's always competition in the project, EU projects, but to make even more high quality project with a better impact, and we would like to contribute to that, and we will regions and smart specialization is definitely one of our key focus areas. I'm spending most of my working time for this topic, and then we have also the national level, which have kind of already, they have also recognized that this regional level is very important. This is where that they can better understand the role of regions and understand the role of interregional collaboration and its contribution to the national policies. We were very, very hopeful in the beginning of EU BSR that the ministries would also just like that coordinate the national policies and implement some national level projects, but that's not still happening. I have to say that but regions are still supporting, the ministries are still, of course, big part of their innovation policies are about regional level and about local level. And like in Finland, our new innovation policy is very much focusing on local and regional ecosystems. And ministries also, they need better awareness and better competencies on understanding that what is the role of interregional collaboration, European collaboration in that picture, because it can also financially be in a very major contribution. It can be, when we compare, for example, the mainstream structural fund projects, how much south and west of Finland will receive. We can easily, if we are very successful in European-wide in this competitive EU funding, we can provide the same money through European collaboration. And that shows that it's not just some kind of an add-on activity. It's a major strategic opportunity and major resource, additional resource that can be received to our innovation. And it's a resource for internationalization of our companies. It's a resource for also, of course, for individual regions to be more attractive, to help them in investment promotion or talent attraction when you are active in these networks. And but of course, you all know this. You are experts, the best experts on interregional collaboration in the Baltic Sea region. But we are just here to tell you that also US BSR supports your agenda fully. And thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate the opportunity to join this. But Vieslav has more concrete things to tell you next.
Okay, thank you very much for this insightful speech. Actually, for me, it was kind of harmonizing all the things that I heard before. So it's very good. Yeah, I would like now to give the floor to Mr. Wiesław Urban, and then I guess and I hope that we'll discuss in details all the things said. So, Mr. Urban, please, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, as I said, for the invitation. We are very, very happy of that. We feel honored even by this invitation. So Santa Małgorzata, thank you very much. As Esa just said, gave very great framework and just even overcovered some things we are doing in the Go Smart project. So let me show it more detailedly. So it's better to show one picture than 1,000 of words, probably. So I also prepared some presentation for today. So I hope that you can see my presentation. So I would like just to combine, not just strictly divide what we've done in Go Smart and Excel, because there are two names of our two projects. One is a 3 years project already done because of the pandemic. It was suspended half a year. So right now we are in a Go Smart and Excel BSR project. So we are aiming to finish at the end of this year. And let me share some core issues we done and we are doing now in our project. So I'm the project coordinator. The team is regions around Baltic Sea. First of all, I would like, having listeners from different perspectives and from having different experience, I would like at the beginning to introduce our framework approach in our Go Smart BSR project. So we are doing with two things. I mean, first of all, we are doing with Trans S3. You see, Trans, it's a little bit different than S3 approach, and it influences TIPS system, and all these two legs of our project have one common denominator. This is innovations. And this is our motivation of preparing the methodology, fulfilling some new approach and following this approach, and preparing, design the STIP system. And now in the Excel part of our project, just stretching, elevating this project to the higher level, the system to the higher level. So few words about Trans S3 methodology. First of all, this methodology is fully based on the widely known and widely implemented by many regions and countries in Europe, which is by all even parts of the European Union, just S3 methodology. So this methodology is something totally new. It's something just we prepared just basing on this great experience of S3. So this is the methodology we designed, we elaborated in our basic, the first part of the project. This is the methodology of 5 sequences, starting from searching some priorities in the regions. Maybe first of all, this is the methodology implemented for the regions joined to the project in the first its part. And the first, this is the searching of some common set priority areas. Second, this is some analysis, market and technology reviews, internationalization assessment priorities, and finally, consultation. And once again, if necessary. And we have been strongly basing on the feedback, because it was we just organized several sets of consultation with stakeholders, with regional policymakers, regional development policymakers, also with business. And finally, we elaborated the document, the methodology for transnational smart specialization strategy. This methodology are fully open, I mean published, and you can download from our website. You may see in the bottom right-hand side of on my slide, this is our website. At the end of the presentation, I also remind once again our contact issues. However, I know Santa is very active in this project with this. Okay, I see some comments on chat. Okay, by Santa. As I said, Santa is absolutely amazing PR lady and information person. Basing on this methodology elaborated by us, we prepared something what might be called just Trans S3 for engaged regions. What is it? What is the output? Because this is the most interesting thing, why it's done and what the contribution it brings. So this is the common smart specialization priority areas among target regions, countries, regions or countries for innovation-driven internationalization. So this is, in other words, this is the smart specialization approach just in terms of the potential of cross-regional, cross-transnational collaboration in terms of innovations, business, and links, cooperation between business to business, but also business to R&D supporters. I mean, providers of some technological, just strict innovation solutions, services. So, and we already done this, and you might see in this document, because this methodology is prepared in this approach that we just illustrated step by step of the methodology in what is done by us in this main project. So, however, we in our project, as I said before, we decided that it is not enough just working in the level of policy, regional policy, national policies. We need to do something very, very, you know, very close related to the business. I mean, to the places generic, to the places where real value is produced in region, and to the places, to the sphere where the real growth is produced. So that's why we designed the TIPS. TIPS, this is a transnational innovation brokerage system. And I would like to just to explain you how it's working right now and what we are aiming to do with this system in this phase of our project. First of all, this is the structured system of cooperation. And secondly, it's closely related to Trans-S3 priority areas. I mean, we perceive this some kind of this policy areas, priority areas as a guidance for us how to look for the most prospective cooperation between just bottom level operators, companies and institutions like R&D institutions. So this system facilitates innovations and internationalization. Frankly speaking, internationalization by innovations. TIPS services brings value just to the business. Shareholders, stakeholders are engaged, including R&D institutions and public body. And this system has some kind of potential to being spread as a wider and wider system. How does it work? I mean, what is the idea of this system? And in other words, how this TIP system is different what we already have, because all of us are fully familiar with many approaches to support innovations, to support SMEs, and to facilitate the growth and development of a business. So our approach is to some extent original, because we are working in two value chains. What I mean, that first of all, our system allows to analyze the value chain within the company. You might see this upper picture, left-hand side. This is the model of the value chain within a company, so-called value chain model of a company. And we are operating in a value way. I mean, we're thinking in what kind of value cooperation chains, I mean, value web, this company exists. And we are thinking between in the system of brokers, how to find the most appropriate, the most beneficial potential cooperation with companies or R&D entities in other regions. So in what way we are doing this? We are doing this with the toolbox, because our system consists of the toolbox which supports brokers working together. What's about this toolbox? We have some kind of handbook. I mean, the guidance prepared already in this first part of this our project, and we have some analytical framework, as you may see. This is internationalization, selected or not. I mean, this is the analysis, the first step. This is the deep analysis of the company. This analysis is also bringing value, because allows small and medium enterprises, top managers, to think what is the state of the company in terms of potential of looking for the most appropriate, I mean, bringing the biggest value partnerships, selecting right markets, selecting right operational models, and making a realistic entry and plan. We work in the business model approach. That's why in some step of our process of working with business entities, we support business in formulating just international business model, business cooperation. So we are operating in brokers. Each region, each partner has one broker. They are very skillful, because we are investing, I mean, we're devoting much attention to elevate the knowledge of our brokers, and at the same time we are capturing this knowledge in some databases. That's why new entries, new brokers potentially interested in working according to our approach in our system, having the tangible access, starting access to tangible assets, which allows to elevate the knowledge of new brokers. So what we did till now, I mean, these figures are about the previous project. I mean, just the March of this year. You see these numbers, we see as pretty optimistic, because we contacted almost 1,000 of SMEs. Almost 300 of them just decided to work with us. There are many, you know, options, decisions. It's not clear sometimes. Please note that we have been working on this during the time of pandemic, and business, just some of business. Oh, I even would say that this is the majority of them just were focused on how to survive. So what I mean, just pre-treated, it means having the process of analyzing the value chain and internationalization possibilities. Number of cooperation offers developed, it is a little bit less than 200. Number 114, this is the SMEs matched, and number of figured out just business model corporations. We call this as a joint transnational smart strategy formulated for some of the cooperation. So what we are doing now in Go, Smart, and Excel, which, as I said, as Esa said, and surely Santa informed, which is the continuation and elevating to higher level what we done with this 3.5-year project. And yes, we would like just to work and to go for the better level, higher level, the two legs on which we have been working till now. First of all, the TransS3 methodology we would like to applicate, I mean, to to decide, I mean, to point out a prioritization of common actions, I mean, priorities for whole Baltic Sea region, and possibly make it as applicable, this methodology, show in this project how this methodology of looking for the most promising in terms of internationalization areas, how to make this methodology better understanding and show the possibility of application in a wider scale. Just why? Leaving the opportunity to applicate applicate this methodology even wider if some other countries, sub-regions, macro regions would like. And second issue, this is the expanding tips in the Baltic Sea region and beyond. We would like just to join some new partners during this till the end of this year, and to work with us. And I would like also inform that we, starting from this second phase of our project, we just made bigger our cooperation. We add 2 more players operating in as a project partners, operating in a tip system. However, our aim is to find a better operator, I mean system holder for the sustainability for the next year and for the wide area beyond just Baltic states. And one important issue referring to tip system is that we right now we are working on IT tool. I mean, all this our tools will be fully digitalized and operating as an app in individual places. So it also the communication and data exchange would be thanks for this IT tool would be easier, faster, more efficient. So I suppose this is in a nutshell what we done. Welcome to our website and our global Facebook profile, and thank you for attention. If I might share some more information, I'm open for discussion for your questions. I suppose it's thank you right now.